Judas Priest do the impossible. The Exodus lineup drama continues, and Saxon have officially gone insane. Metal is live and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here you go. Where the flip is metal. Do you know what I love February for? Is that every year it gives us quite a lot of news for segments like this one. As just moments after we all stopped talking about the Grammys, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced their list of nominees for the class of 2025. Among which, there are actually quite a lot of rock and roll bands, including, for example, Bad Company, The Black Crowes, Foreigner, Soundgarden, all of which, and I'm not kidding you, including Joe Cocker, definitely do deserve to get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. No, seriously, no sarcasm here from me. But at the same time, after we metalheads have been kind of spoiled with the nominations and sometimes even with the inductions of metal artists into this institution, in 2025 we of course have one question. Where the flip are metal bands? So yes guys, 2025 becomes yet another year when such bands as Motorhead or Saxon or Iron Maiden do not get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And that means that there is actually a very high chance that such artists as Mariah Carey and Outkast will actually be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before, once again, Iron Maiden. Or, what is even more funny, Motorhead. Because, you know, they're definitely much more rock and roll than this guy.
Don't forget us. Our name is Motorhead. We play rock and roll.
But nevertheless, guys, I want to congratulate you on this, because this only means that in this really messed up world we live in 2025, there is, nevertheless, at least some stability. Here guys, real quick, I just have to point out that only around 30% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to the Metal Pilgrim channel, so if you are not one of them, and especially if this is not the first video you're watching on the show, I would really appreciate it if you would consider doing it right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. Exodus Fallout. The Exodus lineup shuffle drama continues, and just in case if you guys don't know, a couple of weeks ago, Exodus parted ways with their vocalist Steve Zatra Souza and welcomed back nobody else but Rob Dukes, of which we of course spoke in our previous Metal Digests. Which I think it was kind of a test to see whether you're subscribed to this channel or not, huh?
I was just checking to see if I went viral. No? Okay. Let's check one more time.
A couple of days ago, answering a social media request by a fan to issue a statement on his departure from Exodus, Zatra replied, "Really no statement, I was let go. If you read the statement, it says Exodus has parted ways, not Zatra has parted ways." After that, once again reiterated the statement answering to another fan. "I did not leave, I was let go. Exodus parted ways with Zatra." Yep. And of course, after this kind of news, Exodus simply had to give some kind of explanation to their fans. And so in one of the later interviews, the legendary Gary Holt commented on it, saying that if he could tell us everything, we would definitely understand, saying that he simply doesn't want to speak badly of Souza, adding that it's a marriage being in a band, and behind closed doors, this marriage was long over. Love and marriage. And so it looks like the breakup was actually initiated by Exodus and not by Steve, and it's kind of been in the plans at least for some time now. But I think nevertheless, despite all that drama, Exodus fans actually have made the decision at least with understanding, even given the fact that it was made right before the final stages of recording of their new album, which they promise to deliver to us either this or maximum next year. Yet this time, once again, with Rob Dukes. And by the way, guys, what do you personally think about this? Please let us know in the comments, as I'm actually really curious to find out. And it also helps this video to be pushed to more and more people. So yeah, just do it, please. Rocka Rolla is finally home. Despite the fact that Judas Priest did not take the Grammys home, well, this was a great week for all of the Judas Priest fans, especially those in Europe, as after months of anticipation, the updated, remixed, and remastered version of the legendary Judas Priest debut album, Rocka Rolla, is finally available not only in the United States, but in Europe and beyond. In case you guys have no idea what's all the fuss about, well, back in 1974, Judas Priest were extremely unhappy with the way they recorded Rocka Rolla. Well, not with the way they recorded it, but with the way it sounded as an end product. Because back then, their label Gull Records were trying to pursue a more poppy sound for the band, as that's how they believed Judas Priest would be more accessible for the masses. And that's exactly why, since the release of their second album, Said Wings of Destiny, Judas Priest almost never performed any of the Rocka Rolla songs live. And only a couple of years ago, after almost 50 years of trying to obtain the rights, Judas Priest were finally able to get both the rights and the master tapes for their debut album and Said Wings of Destiny, and finally reissue it in the way it was always supposed to sound like. Well guys, I actually did a very extensive and detailed episode comparing the two versions of Rocka Rolla and explaining the significance of it and the history behind the struggle. So if you haven't watched it yet, make sure to check it out after this Metal Digest. But just wanted to point out that in the last couple of months that I had it in my possession, well, I've listened to it like gazillion times, because I always believed that the musicianship on Rocka Rolla was simply incredible, but it really did not sound much like Judas Priest. And if you're a crazy collector and a Judas Priest fan like myself, I'll make sure to leave the links to vinyl and CDs of the Rocka Rolla 50th anniversary in the description to this video, so you can order it at the best price possible that I could find, at least. But for now, I just wanted to point out that after hearing what the Rocka Rolla songs could have sounded like, I really hope that Judas Priest will incorporate more and more songs from their debut record on their future live shows. So yeah, go ahead and check it out on your streaming platform right now. It's definitely worth it. Just fly around me. Okay guys, an urgent update for you, because after I recorded this segment, it became known that just now the updated version of Rocka Rolla has already become a bestseller and did something it was not able to do since 1974. Enter the UK charts in 3 different nominations for the very first time in more than 50 years, which in my opinion just once again proves something that I've been talking about on this channel for a long time now, that despite all the hate, and especially from Judas Priest themselves, some of the songs on Rocka Rolla are freaking incredible.
The killer metal album. Can you believe that?
Here real quick, and I know that I don't do that enough, but I want to thank all my patrons and all the YouTube channel members who are supporting this show. Because the truth is that it is thanks to all of you and all those who purchase Metal Pilgrim merch that this show is even able to exist. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. And here's the time for us to talk about 5 latest releases from this week, which, although did not get their own segments, are definitely worthy of your attention. Lacuna Coil have finally unleashed their new studio album, Sleepless Empire, the band's 10th studio record, on which they managed to both make another step forward, yet at the same time intertwine this undeniably old-school gothic metal Lacuna Coil propagated in their early days, making it both dark and extremely fun and entertaining at the same time. I wish you were dead inside of my head, Symphonic death metal veterans Septicflesh have released a surprise EP, Amphibians, which I don't think there has been any mention of prior to the release, as the band is currently concentrating on their Modern Primitive in North America 2025 tour, which started this week. A fun surprise for every fan of Greek metalers. Ozzy Osbourne does not stop surprising us, adding to the hype around his last concert with Black Sabbath by dropping a re-recorded version of Gods of Rock and Roll together with Billy Morrison, which predictably already climbed to top 20 Billboard mainstream rock charts a day before its official release, since it was first presented at Ozzy's Boneyard on SiriusXM, and some fans already had a chance to listen to it. And no matter what anyone says, there's something extremely comforting in hearing Ozzy's voice.
I guess tonight will be another nightmare just for me.
Power metalers Dynazty released their new studio record Game of Faces, which according to the band is supposed to take you on a journey exploring the essence of the human mind and existence, with lyrical themes such as self-discovery, spiritual death, rebirth, and reinvention. But even if you are not too preoccupied with such themes, it still features that classic power metal sound Dynazty are known for.
Machine rise on fire to fight. Let the beating heart set the rhythm tonight.
Rock and metal sensation Avantasia unveiled their third new single, The Witch, featuring Tommy Cavadic of Camelot, taken from their upcoming Here Be Dragons album. And on it, Tobias once again takes its listener on a cinematic journey, blending his signature musical style with an enchanting storyline. Exactly how Avantasia fans love it.
Scream sound in the wind that rains, storm bound on a cold day.
And by the way, our metal playlist, Metal 365, has gotten a huge update this past week. So if you haven't listened to it for a while, now is the time to do that. And if you still haven't added it to your Spotify or YouTube music libraries, well, you should definitely do it like right now. It features 50 of the hottest metal songs of the past year and is updated weekly. So it's pretty much a Billboard top 50, but for metal. And of course, all the links to it will be in the description to this video.
The gods of rock and roll.
Black Sabbath tickets scandal. Well, since Metal Pilgrim is a very serious mainstream media, we were actually able to obtain an exclusive footage of Black Sabbath fans trying to get the tickets to the Back to the Beginning concert. So please pay attention. Oh great, I just got the pre-sale link for the final Black Sabbath concert. Let's get some tickets. Oh yeah, surprise, surprise, Black Sabbath tickets were sold in several bunches, and each of those bunches, until the tickets went on general sale, were sold in just a matter of minutes, with gazillion unhappy fans around the world screaming that it was not fair. But the truth is, guys, that Back to the Beginning is the most anticipated metal album of a decade. So yeah, of course they were sold super quick. What else did you expect? And at this point, I'm just simply happy for all those who were able to obtain the tickets to watch the last ever performance by the legendary Ozzy Osbourne. Iron Maiden and the backing tracks. This week, Bruce Dickinson just once again showcased why we all love Iron Maiden, as in his interview to the Classic Rock magazine, and talking about the possibility of using backing tracks, he once again reiterated that Maiden has to be 100% authentic, and it has to be fierce, and told the story of how one superfan once asked him about a possibility of downtuning and using backing tracks, on which he simply answered no, saying that if Iron Maiden decides to use backing tracks, that's the day he quits, or the day Iron Maiden ceases to exist, because if it is not real, it is not Maiden. And you know what? That's exactly why we love this band, and this is nothing short of what we expect from it. In all honesty, Iron Maiden's dedication to their live shows is simply mind-blowing, and this is exactly why still today in 2025, on the 50th year of their existence, tens of thousands and millions of fans want to see them live. And it is this dedication to their live shows and to their fans that kind of explains some of the decisions this band makes, some of the hard ones, including the one by the legendary Nick McBrain, who decided to step down simply because he felt like he couldn't lead this band forward the way he should, and there's no way he would be using back-end tracks at Iron Maiden live shows. And then is that I think that we can count on fingers of one hand the bands which are as dedicated to their live shows as Iron Maiden is. And the thing is that there are quite a lot of people who are complaining about the whole fact that I mostly speak about classic legacy heavy metal bands on this show. But if we're being honest, it is those bands' dedication to their fan base, and it is their ability to still break the rules of normality in the music industry is what drives and keeps heavy metal going today in 2025. And I really hope that more and more young bands will follow their path and not only view their bands as a vehicle to make some money. And even if they do realize that what metal hands actually want is not some polished live performance, but rather a real live experience which stays true to the spirit of our favorite genre.
Now it seems to me all is lost and nothing gained.
Saxon just young bands. This week, Saxon vocalist Biff Byford, it looks like, simply made fun of all the young bands in metal, announcing that Saxon is already working on their new album. And it's not like they're just, putting some ideas together. They're literally working on it already. So yeah, according to Biff Byford, he's currently compiling all the thoughts together, and then the band is going to get together after their tour sometime in June to rehearse the new songs already. After that, go into the studio sometime in January or February, which means that their next studio album will most likely see the light of day sometime in 2026. No, seriously, their previous one, Hellfire and Damnation, was just released in 2024. And these guys are in their 70s!
How do you do, fellow kids?
What?
But all jokes aside, it looks like Saxon is following the same schedule they did since the early 80s. And since I personally know Biff Byford, Nigel Glockler, and pretty much all the other guys in Saxon, I simply have to point out that this band is possibly one of the most hard-working bands in heavy metal. And no matter what, they will never rest on the success of the past. But still, an album every 2 years? In their age, when in reality they don't really need to release any new music to invite fans to their shows, is simply mind-blowing. And I really wish more young bands would follow their path.
Never forget, remember the name. In 1066, the Saxons were slain.
But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment under it, spread the word about the channel. I mean, you know what to do. But also I wanted to invite you to follow my Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and all the other social media platforms you hang out at. I post quite a lot of content there. So yeah, but anyways, thank you so much for watching, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!